people, it's me! Uh, this isn't my channel, so probably don't know who me is, but I assume it says so in the description. But either way, I'm grenworthshero, and it's been a long time since I've done a video at all. So this is especially weird since I think the last time I did a video was I did an unboxing of some perfume released. And if you don't know who Perfume is, they are a J-pop girl group and my obsession. But I think that was my last video, and that was a long ass time ago. So this is kind of weird being on somebody else's channel. But here we go. I am really bad at this game, I gotta say. I haven't played it in years. Because I bought it when I bought Street Fighter 4, not Super Street Fighter 4 or the arcade edition, but I bought it when I bought my PS3 in 2009, I think it was. And holy crap, I bought it in 2009 and I haven't played it since then. Because I played it on normal, which is what you start out on normal. I couldn't get very far. So I put it on easy mode, and I got to the final boss, and I couldn't beat it. That's how bad. I can't beat this game on easy mode. That's how bad I am at it. So I never tried it online. I would get completely demolished. I assume, anyway. Speaking of demolished, I just got home from a car accident, which is always exciting. Well, I assume it's exciting. I mean, that's not a habit of mine. Luckily, I'm about to buy a new car. I am about to buy a Fiat 500, which I'm excited about. And the car I have now is not really on its last leg, but I'm definitely glad I'm getting a new one now. Pulled out of my work, trying to go home. So I'm on my way home, and I get T-boned. Because I'm trying to pull out of this dangerous intersection. And I don't know how I didn't see this car, but he T-boned me, a Toyota Prius. So luckily it was this little dinky thing, and it didn't do a whole lot of damage. It smashed my door in, broke my driver's side window, which luckily my window was down, so all the glass went inside of the door pretty much. But now I think maybe if the window was up, it wouldn't have broken my window. But it doesn't. I'm okay. The guy was okay. He was exactly the kind of guy you would expect who would drive a Prius. He was a hipster, pretty cool dude, but we'll see once I get word from my insurance company if he's a pretty cool dude, or if he's going to sue me up the butthole or something. But his car was alright. He had a dent in his bumper, and my door was dented in, so I couldn't open it. But yeah, that's always fun. It's always good when you can walk away without a scratch, but it kind of sucks at the same time. But I did figure out that I have a severe lack of emotion for a lot of things. It seems like not so much a lack of emotion, so much as I don't have much of a sense of self-preservation, which isn't always a good thing, especially when you're driving a car. But I don't really get upset over things, unless if you mess with my friends, I will. That's the only time I will get upset, and I will be very noticeably upset. So you can do pretty much whatever you want to me. I'll go with the flow. Cool. But if you mess with my friends, then it's on. Oh, I have to talk about Nintendo here for a second. Since oh, Nintendo. I used to be a raging Nintendo fanboy. I would swear off anything PlayStation. I grew up. My first console was, well, my first console that I played, I think, was the NES. But the first console I owned was the SNES. So I grew up during the time of Sega and Nintendo, but I didn't really get into video games until the N64. And their big rival then, of course, was the PlayStation. So I hated PlayStation at the time. And it wasn't until I went to college and my friend had a PlayStation 2, and he was a big PlayStation fan, that I started really getting into PlayStation stuff. And slowly, very slowly, it's like trying to convert a racist. you really have to wear them down before they realize, hey, this other side isn't so bad. Maybe PlayStation's alright. So I started playing Final Fantasy. My first introduction to Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy VIII. And at the time, I was a big Zelda fan. Oh, I still am a big Zelda fan, but at the time I was big into Zelda. I kind of expected Final Fantasy to be Zelda, but it's definitely not. So I played Final Fantasy VIII. I saw the turn-based battle system, and I thought it was really stupid. Like, why would you go hit someone and run back to your own spot, and then let them hit you? So I thought that was really stupid, and until I played Final Fantasy 7, I think it was. I played 7 and 10 at the same time. I finished 10 first, but I played 7 first. And those two really brought me into Final Fantasy, because I hated 8. And I went back and played 8 twice since that time, and I still hate 8. I don't know what it is about that game. I love 7 and 9. I just can't do Final Fantasy 8. But I digress. That was really my introduction into PlayStation, and what started to get me to love PlayStation along with Metal Gear Solid. And so during this time, Nintendo was around the time I was getting into this, the Wii happened, because I went to college in 2006. I graduated high school in 2006. And so the Wii happened. And then Nintendo started doing everything right. And as far as bringing people into the genre and just completely changing video games as we know them. I mean, everyone plays video games now. Before the Wii, really, it was just a niche market, but the Wii brought games to every single household. And that's really cool. I'm glad Nintendo did that, and they have always been an innovator in that area in bringing games to mass audiences. But then came a stagnant period where the Wii just shovelware all over the place. And Nintendo stopped listening to its fan base and continued to try and cater to their new crowd, which is understandable because they're making tons of money from it. But they started ignoring their core fan base, and at the same time, PlayStation was filling that slot where people like me went from the Nintendo console to something that has a little more better library to it. And I love the Wii, don't get me wrong. I don't even know, I have like 60 games for the Wii, and I love them all, except for a few. So I don't love them all. But I have a pretty big library for the Wii, and I love it. But then the Wii U came out. Oh, I could go on and on about the Wii U. Okay, the Wii U. The Wii U as a console is a great idea, and I was very excited about it when they announced it at E3. I was one of the few people I knew who was very excited about it when they announced it. And they seemed to deliver when it came out. I'm as far as the hype train goes and the kind of stuff that they had, I bought it on launch, and it was really cool. And then it just, like, they didn't do anything with it. And no third-party support. We're finally starting to get games for it. And it's, what, more than 2 years after it came out, I think. And so Mario game after Mario game, and just first-party games out the butthole. And every one of them just seemed to me just like the last one. I'm not a big fan of the new Super Mario Bros. Series, and it seems like we had 4 of those kinds of games already on the Wii U. And those are the kind of games that they try and convince us are worth buying the system for. And it's really not. Not for me, not for a lot of the core fans of Nintendo. Not for a long time. We've moved on, a lot of us. And then they come out with the new 3DS, which is just kind of a big middle finger, I think. After all this talk of how they're not going to come out with a new version of the 3DS for so long, and they're not going to drop the price, so they dropped the price because it wasn't selling, after they said they weren't going to drop the price. So then they give this ambassador program, where they give free games to the people who bought it before the price drop. And then they come out with a new version. They come out with the XL, which is against what they said in the first place. But now they're coming out with a new 3DS, which is a horrendous name, by the way. Clearly they didn't learn anything from Wii U, because people are just going to think new 3DS is still a 3DS. And there are some games that it can't play. I mean, the original 3DS can't play. So, on with their horrible naming systems again. Nintendo just seems to listen to only its own opinions, which wouldn't be a bad thing. I mean, they've always kind of done their own thing, but it's just stagnant at this point. And I don't hate Nintendo at all. I love Nintendo and everything they've done and brought to the world of video games, but just need to get their heads out of their bungholes. What the heck? My cat is freaking out over here. I think, yep, it's 2:15 in the morning, so it's about time. It's about that time to run around the house for no reason. Holy crap, I didn't realize it was 2:15 in the morning. So, I'm going to stop on that Nintendo rant because I'm tired of bashing Nintendo, and I'm sure everybody else is tired of hearing about Nintendo. And if there are any, and I'm sure there are some Nintendo fanboys on this channel, because they're everywhere, I am sorry. I'm not a Nintendo fanboy, and I'm not a Sony fanboy. I just like video games, and I want them to succeed. I'm not even going to... Well, okay, yeah. Here I go. I am going to talk about Microsoft, because...
Are you ready?
Allow me to refrain from using expletives, but I hate Microsoft for everything it's done through the 360 and the Xbox One. Okay, maybe not everything it's done. The 360 made some major leaps in what video games have become today. But their attitude toward its customers is just... it's awful. It's truly awful. And I'm not a Sony fanboy, although it kind of sounds like it, because Sony's kind of doing everything right while everybody's doing everything wrong. But I think it's more the fact that everybody else is doing stuff so wrong that Sony can't lose. All they have to do is sit back and watch the train wreck and say, look, that's what we're not doing. Come over here. And really, they can't do anything wrong. Even the stuff they're doing wrong, like they're terrible on the PS4, which I love, but they have a terrible, what's the word I'm looking for? User interface. That's the word I'm looking for. They have a terrible user interface for the main screen. But I mean, even the stuff they're doing wrong is still right. And I gotta wrap this up fast. But no, I love video games. Stop sucking.